All right, we're started. So, what's the fucking intro? It's like, hey, welcome to another episode of the 212th podcast. Ain't that some awesome stuff? Here we have Derry, Scrut, Charlie, and then Beetle, all of which are
Mm-hmm.
Foxtrot members. And apparently we have some co-podcasters, my fucking birds. So, each of you, starting
Mother
with Derry,
birds.
go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Howdy, Derry, now currently retired from the 212th. Still following the SOP and showing up with 4 Foxtrot members to wherever we go.
Okay, Scrut.
I'm here. I'm me. I really have. Remember Foxtrot joined 212 almost 3 years ago, and immediately dove into Foxtrot as soon as it became a thing.
You're right, Charlie.
Yeah, I'm CTS Charlie, currently a Foxtrot team lead. I've been here since 2019, so coming up on 4-ish years. Yeah, I've been in Foxtrot for 3 of those, so almost all my time in the unit has been here.
And Beetle.
Yep. My name is CSP Beetle. I'm Foxtrot. Been with the unit for 2019, so 5 years, roughly. And I've been dragged along, kicking and screaming by Dairy to this finish line at the minute.
The finish line? Like this or something else?
It's either the finish line as in Foxtrot continues to be great, or we start destroying the unit. One of the
Okay.
two.
Beetle was my ticking time bomb in case things. He kept me sane, and in case things went horribly wrong, he's the one that took me out of the picture.
So is Beetle the reason Derry retired?
Nah,
It's just a sleeper
kinda
sleeper
common.
agent.
he
yeah.
supplied me with the good memes that kept me in the unit for an extra year.
Why did you retire anyway?
It's time to go. I spent a lot of time in the unit and always kind of kept a mentality of remembering that, hey, this is a game. I like to balance it with my regular life. As much as I love the unit, I've had a fantastic time with the community. I was getting to the point where I was putting in almost as much effort as the job would require, and it's not the fault to the unit. It's just because I wanted to do more and more for the unit. Unit's kind of starting to go in a direction that I don't think necessarily needs my input anymore. So I'm happy to just sit back and provide mod support and other fancy help where I can from a distance.
Okay. Who's taking your place? Like, what Foxtrot group are you a part of?
Sorry, is that from me?
Yes, you.
Yes. What part of a Foxtrot group? Well, none now.
Yeah, like who's taking your place? Like, what
Oh, who's
group?
taking?
What group are you a part of?
No one person
so I-
can take Derry's place. So.
I appreciate that. So I was the Fox 1 team lead for Shade Platoon. It's currently the only hard billeted Foxtrot team. And as to who takes my place, that's completely up to these guys. The natural order of progression would probably Charlie, but we did a good job within Foxtrot of fostering kind of everybody's on the same playing field. Like we have a hierarchy for in-game stuff and for administrative things. But everyone's capable, and I know these guys are, they're going to work it out and talk to each other about whoever takes that spot over without any hard feelings or anything. So, could be anybody.
Are you all a part of the same Foxtrot team?
At one point or another, we were. So,
Well, no, actually, that's not true, because remember, I left, and Scrut took my place. So we were never missing the fourth man.
well, that's why I said at one point we were. Maybe not simultaneously.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody has filtered through. Everybody in this channel is filtered through or is still in Fox 1. But now, I got 2 team leaders and Beetle, who I couldn't convince to rejoin leadership.
Still trying.
I mean, is Foxtrot leadership complicated?
Not really. I'll say I think it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part. The people we get in there, the work that we do, even the training, kind of fosters a cooperative environment, and everyone knows what everyone else is doing. So, yeah, not hard.
I think to be it's fairly easy, but I think the harder part of it is that the play style is a lot different from the unit. To include like the leadership style is a lot different from the unit, and it's as much balancing. Hey, I want to help the community in game with all the fancy tools that I have, but I don't want to override everyone else's fun, and that's arguably I spend more time balancing that than I do coordinating the three dudes with me. I don't know, Charlie or Scott, if you guys feel the same, but.
Yeah, definitely. I would say I think the hardest part about being a team lead is managing with platoons and the platoon lead and working with them. But besides that, everyone on the team is on the same mindset of as far as what we're doing and getting the objective done and supporting the platoon. So it's pretty easy.
Yeah, there's, from my experience, not too many joys to go around as is, so wouldn't want you gluttonous fucks gobbling up all the context, right?
Yeah, we try not to until a single B1 rocket trooper hits some poor unfortunate guy and takes everybody out.
Yeah, at that point, then, hey, please.
Yeah, at that point we're just covering you guys while medical happens.
So, what inspired you all to join the 212th?
Oh, that's a hard question. I really liked armor, and I wanted to get into a good unit, so I joined Milsim for like a month, and then I've found 212. I was like, oh, looks a bit bigger and looks more professional. So I'll join it. And I was trapped.
For me, I had joined the 101st in 2018 before they were in GARC. And then after they got in, I started going to a lot of GARC ops and going to the 212th ops as well. And that was a lot of fun. And then between right as COVID had started, I had left that and ran in some other small units and was looking for, a well-built, well-oiled machine that was the 212th. Ended up joining and haven't left since.
I got introduced to Armo through various YouTube videos. Ended up joining a different Star Wars Milsim unit, and rose through the ranks there. Got a bunch of responsibility. Had a bunch of conflict with leadership there, and me and a group of friends decided we were kind of done with that. We were going to go find some place where we can have more fun, and one of them recommended the 212th, and landed here. And I am the only one left from that mass exodus, actually.
My story is a little similar to Scrut's. Not as jovial. I didn't want to do Milsim anymore. I had participated for a long time in a Halo unit, and I had a good time. But internet drama occurs as it normally does, and so I ended up leaving that unit just because I didn't really want to partake. Joined the 501st for just a little bit. Found out it was at the time when the 501st was kind of in a little more serious spot than they are now. And I have to call people sir and ma'am and sergeant in real life, and wasn't going to do that in a video game. So I didn't. I left there. A couple of buddies that were in the unit for any of our old members who might be listening to this, Quiet and Blood were in the unit. They were also in the Halo unit with me and convinced me to come over here, and then dipped in the first 3 days of me being here. I also actually planned to leave. I wasn't going to stay, but between Watchdog and Sox, they found out that I could fly in Arma pretty decently, and that I might have been interested in it, and they came and kidnapped me. But they kept me sane and had a lot of fun, so I decided to stay.
The dead of night just threw a burlap sack over your head and threw you in the back of a van.
I mean, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I actually tried going over to the 501st once, but their whole Discord is all kinds of just messed up. It is so difficult to get anything done over there.
Yeah, they're 501st has a lot of good stuff going for them. They're a really big unit. They've been around in the Arma community for a really long time. It's also kind of worked against them though, because now it's a little harder to manage, I'm sure.
Yeah. We manage just fine though, and we have like what 4 platoons. So, I mean, yeah, come on, like 2 or 3 guys who do administrative stuff. If we can do it, then I'm sure someone as big as the 501st can do so.
Yeah, well, I mean, they obviously do. They're still running. But yeah, give them credit where credit's due. I mean, they do have, or at least at one point had. I don't know what their numbers are like now. They had like, oh man, triple, maybe quadruple the size that we were. We had like 2 platoons, and I think they had like 8.
Yeah. I think they had multiple companies at the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I say. It's especially with, even though I'm not the biggest fan, or not his biggest fan, I will give credit where credit is due. Forensic came through in the 501st, and he really helped bring Star Sim to life, particularly for the 501st. Tons of people joined them from his early days as starting out as a YouTuber. His bad habits and poor attitude aside, he did wonders for bringing people in there.
I'm gonna say a cursed name that I haven't heard in a long time, but Liru is what brought me over to the 212. That's an old name.
Who?
Yeah. Liru the Lance Corporal. I don't know if he still makes videos, but he was a YouTuber about the same time Forensic started out. They actually used to work together pretty frequently because I worked with them both in that Halo unit that I was in slightly before. I say work with. I was in their ops and such in that Halo unit before coming over to the 212.
So, what made you all join Foxtrot? What was the appeal to that?
How about we start the origin? Yeah, where did it start?
Yeah, I guess I'll go first. So my big appeal for it was honestly just trying to make something fun for the community to do. I was deep in the trenches with Wampa at the time. Shout out to my original home. So Walrus, the old owner of the unit, came to him and said, "Hey, I want to make." Basically, he just decided that we were going to do commandos. He offered it up to, I think, Charger and then Lucky, or maybe Lucky and then Charger. Neither of them wanted to touch it with a 10-foot pole because it was a shit ton of work. And ended up in my doorstep next. When he explained it to me, I remembered my time in the ODST teams, in the Halo unit, which was a lot of fun. We were just a close-knit group of friends that were having fun and doing stuff that helped to the rest of the community. I kind of wanted to make that. I kept going with Foxtrot because I agreed to help him out, and then found out that the vision that Walrus originally wanted for Commandos is absolutely nothing like what I just described. And rather than let it die, I wanted to make a good thing for the community to play with. ARC Troopers hadn't been conceived of yet in any real way in the unit yet, so there wasn't a Special Forces role. And I thought the community would have fun with that, so I was like, why not put it together? I've built SOPs, I can do it again.
So who's was responsible for the commandos? Like Walrus, that's his brainchild, or?
Yeah, a little bit of Walrus, a little bit of me. So Walrus just kind of decided for the unit that we were doing commandos, much to the anger of all of the current, or at the time, SNCO's company and command staff. He just decided we were doing that, and then put the onus on us to do it. I mean, he literally was like, "Hey, this is what I want them to be. Have fun with it," and then disappeared for 6+ months. It was kind of a huge fucking uphill battle. But the plan that I was given from him was to essentially have a bunch of, four people in the unit, only ever 4, that had all the special gear, all the special tools, could move faster, take more damage, basically just be OP as hell. But also never really interact with the player base. Their whole plan was to run around and do stuff on the periphery and the distance where some people might get a glimpse of them. But they'd basically be off playing their own little commando game. It sounds really fun for those 4 people in particular, but for everybody else, it would have been boring. They would have had no interaction with it. So I kind of redesigned commandos to be what they are now, or a more team-oriented, like community-based special forces group that anybody gets to participate with, whether you have on the commando armor or not.
Yeah. So, little side question here for all of you. What's like the ideal commando mission that you guys can get? Because I, way back in the day, Zeused a little side mission for commandos. And this was like my first time being a Zeus. So what I did was, there's like this little FOB in like this little island. And what I was told by the head Zeus guy was, hey, fill this out with contacts. And so I did. I put like 300 fucking droids in that motherfucker. And they were like patrolling things all around the FOB too. Do you guys prefer that sort of thing? Do you feel like you're being challenged in your roles, or?
Ooh, it depends on certain items. As marksman does get nerfed with satellite movement, very big sad. So my role went from being a lot of a high risk in that someone that I'd have to sit down and just basically look at my tablet, warn people of danger. That's trust everyone else in the team. That got removed, and it was more just about looking around the local area and just going, all right, I'm trying to spot and trying to just mark out quick areas for the team. So that challenge changed for me, and then for the team, from my perspective, best ideal sort of situation and objective would be like sort of being able to go in quickly, destroy an objective like a shield or an A site, and then being able to leave back to the element.
That's your preference, or is that what typically happens?
That's my preference. I don't know what everyone else feels like.
Well, in your eyes, Beetle, what typically happens? What do you experience?
Well, we rarely go on side objectives, really. It's more just making sure we're a force multiplier for the rest of the platoon. Occasionally, we do try and deal with any rogue ATs that get behind friendly lines. But it's mainly just after an entire squad starts to get wiped out, we help out and get the pressure off them.
The rest of you?
Yeah, most of the time we're doing infantry support, which gives us, but we have a certain amount of freedom in it. So if a line's getting hit, we'll peel off right and go hit the flank, reestablish that line, and keep everything moving forward. A big thing is forward momentum, because we've all been in the op where the platoon gets sagged down, we deal with injuries, here come reinforcements that cause more injuries, and we just get stuck in a space. I really enjoy the fact of being able to kind of bust the platoon out of that cycle and get everything moving again. And the main thing I like about being a commando is the variety of tools we have. That I kind of view my job as being the Swiss Army knife. If something pops up and it needs to be dealt with, if nothing else, we can do it.
I would say I think the ideal mission, I'm pretty sure Gary and Beetle remember it because they were there. This was pretty early on in the Foxtrot days. It was like a main operation, and probably like 500 meters away from the main objective we were at, there was an artillery base, but it was surrounded one of those big dome shields, so it was impenetrable by Wampa, and if the platoon wanted to deal with it, it would take a full frontal assault. And so I'm trying to remember who the platoon lead was, but they pretty much tasked our team with getting in, dealing with the arty, and then getting back as fast as possible. And I think we went there, cleared the objective in like 12, 13 minutes, and then we're immediately back supporting the platoon on their main objective. And that saved them probably like 40 minutes trying to deal with arty. That would have extended the op past the runtime that was required. And I'd say that's probably like the peak Foxtrot objective, where something's shelling the platoon or hitting them pretty hard, and then we can peel off, deal with it quickly in return, and without anyone really noticing that we were ever gone, or lacking support that we were providing them previously. But I'd say typically it's like Scrut and Beetle talked about, where it's like a flank shows up or an AT or a GAT shows up pretty quickly, and they get pretty close to the platoon, so we'll deal with it. And then without it ever interacting with the rest of the platoon or stopping them from whatever objective they were doing, we can support them from close distance, or if something is within a couple hundred meters, we can peel off, deal with it, and come back pretty quick.
Yeah, I think my ideal mission is pretty much aligned with that. I think Foxtrot works best in the missions that are not just particularly difficult, that require some armor knowledge and some gameplay skill, that require all the use of our little specialty gear that we get, but also challenge us to also kind of challenge us to take care of the people around us while fighting back against the AI or the Zeus or whoever you want to call it. That mission that Charlie explained was kind of like a peak mission for sure. Another one I think was real good was we were detached to it. It was not too long ago actually. We were detached to take care of this base that kept spawning tanks essentially to hit the team. The leadership around us had all gone down. We didn't have any Wampa that wasn't busy, so we had just an infantry team trying to hold down this small little building. I think it might have been Spectre actually. So we, because we in our SOP were afforded a little bit more autonomy to follow out the platoon lead's objectives. We pushed out and hit an entire armor compound, but just destroyed like the critical stuff. We got a leader. It took us maybe 5-10 minutes to get through it. It was pretty heavy fighting, but it was just pretty surgical. Felt fun. And we get back and flank the enemy that's got the last of the infantry around us pinned down. Hit them from the opposite side, and then we just grabbed the infantry, did medical, and continued on. We basically became our own like pseudo platoon for a few minutes with just the infantry there. And as we got reinforcements, we got the element got stronger. We started hitting objectives by ourselves as we tried to reconnect with everybody. It was a lot of fun, and it flexed. I think it flexed every specialty on the team. I was coordinating between infantry and assuming risk for both Foxtrot and the infantry, applying gear where it needed to. Our medic was constantly flipping back and forth between fighting and keeping everyone in the Fox team and the other team's medic up, while the infantry medic was fucking killing it too. Our marksman was picking out the worst and dropping it for us, and our demo was just every charge that he could put on to a vehicle. He was doing so. I think that's the ideal mission. Not to say the other examples like the guys gave of what we typically do isn't fun. I do enjoy supporting the infantry, especially when they need it, right? And when it sets up moments for coordination, I think are the best times too. There's never been a time I haven't been excited to see a tank that's kind of outside of Foxtrot's anti-tank range, us sprinting over to some PLX gunner or some RPS 6 gunner who hasn't really gotten to shoot very many tanks today because Phantoms killed them all or Wampa's killed, other assets that prioritize armor have killed them, and grabbing this guy and being like, hey, I got this right here for you. Now you got a commando and infantry coordinating, and it's fun for that guy. It's fun for us. It sacrifices us killing a tank that we probably could have sprinted out and killed ourselves, but more about that coordination. So any mission that brings those two things together to me is like the best of the Foxtrot world.
So it's always fun to go walk up to like a brand new CT with the RPS and be like, hey man, there's an AT 800 meters out. Can you hit the shot?
Yeah.
And then because we all have rangefinders, I just stand next to him with the rangefinder. I'm like, all right, it's 800 meters. It's right there. Take it. And then we're afforded some like jumping up chain of command in case of like there's a big threat. So usually we'll find the next best person to deal with it because we're pretty limited as far as our engagement range, like Jerry was talking about. So we have to rely on the rest of the platoon assets to support us, helping them support them. So that's probably a lot of fun. Also, whenever we do like, the platoon's like, hey, we need Foxtrot to go capture this HVT, and then we'll see like a team of infantry and be like, hey man, come join us. Like we need bodies on this. And that's always fun to like rub them into whatever objective we're doing.
Yeah, I love doing CQC with the infantry elements. To be honest, our CQC in the
Yeah.
212 isn't great because we put so many people in a small corridor, and it's just always a recipe for disaster. But when we get to go with an infantry element, those disasters we can kind of minimize because a big part of Foxtrot's core SOP is use your head to think about things, right? And to plan and get creative. So when I see a situation that's getting kind of dangerous, or any of the Foxtrot guys see a potentially dangerous situation, it doesn't take much to like go out of our way to put ourselves in the line of fire so that the infantry can help us. Especially because we have little things that I've done to the armor, like our armor actually attracts more fire than anyone else's armor in the unit, and it's done intentionally that way. And so we'll open a door and I'll purposely lay in the very middle of the floor where all the AI can see me, so that they shoot at me first, and the infantry around me are safer. Or I'll throw down gear or help out where I can, so that it's more fun for those guys to clear and they get to keep pushing. We'll trade off with each other to do stuff. Those are that's the highlight to me, right? It's the community gameplay. I got the special toys, but everyone can have the special fun if I learn how to use my special toys for them.
I myself haven't had the pleasure, to my memory, of running with any Foxtrot guys. But, I can understand why the old guard would be a little bit standoffish to accepting a bunch of fucking super soldiers into the fold, right? Because I'm sure they worried about them taking away from the main community's gameplay and everything. But it's good to see that the main thing that Foxtrot does is they're a support element. And from what you guys told me, you prefer being a support element. Going out, pretty much bailing the platoon out of some whatever fucking shit fest they're in.
It isn't to say that we don't enjoy getting out and doing a Foxtrot thing, right? What we would call a mission. We're out by ourselves doing something every once in a while. Those are fun, and it's more that's straight up an enjoyment for the team to go out and do stuff. It's not our core gameplay, but it is it is a ton of fun. I think that's everybody though. Everybody likes to go do the break off and go do stuff, regardless of what element you are.
Everyone wants a hero moment.
Yeah, but it gives us a moment to, for all of us to relive playing the Republic Commando game when we go out and do stuff for ourselves for a few minutes and then come rejoin the infantry.
All right. Actually, secret shame, I've never played that game all the way through.
Ugh.
Neither have I.
Missing out.
I'm not really
Such
a
a
big
good
Star
game.
Wars guy.
Fun game, though, just in general.
Yep.
Yeah, so for any Zeus's might be listening to this, hit us hard when we're with the infantry so that we have something to do with them. But also, force the platoon leads to send us places because you put hard objectives they can't handle.
I love hard objectives. I never get any, though, which sucks. Except for the last Spirit Up. I think that one was pretty good.
I've been to some good ones. I know it's a lot of work, and kudos to the Zeus's, because more times than not on main ops they've been alone lately, and it's hard to really be able to juggle entertaining 60 guys. So points to them, and there have been some absolutely brilliant ops I've been to that were fantastic and a lot of fun for everyone and different. But some days it's just going to be take the fob, and that's fun too.
So with the positions you have, I think Beetle mentioned that he was marksmanship or some kind of scout. What led you all to choose the positions you have? Just like, hey, the slot's in Foxtrot's open. Oh, this is what I'm gonna get. Beggars can't be choosers, right? Or did you choose that?
For me, it was mainly the interest in the satellite. I was like, oh, which is sadly a defunct part of the marksman, but I was very much interested in that sort of ability to scout, which I did have previous experience with Poltergeist, so that might have influenced me a bit.
R.I.P. Satellite.
Shameless
Yeah.
plug, platoon leads, give the headlight back.
Platoon leads, command. Please. For me, I was Spectre 3 medic for about a year, and then Foxtrot was rolling out into kind of like this beta phase where it was announced and you could show up and get the qual, and then you trialed for a spot in the team. And it was the only spot that was pretty much still open, so it was kind of the only one I had to go for. But it was very similar to what I was used to in Spectre at that time before Foxtrot was rolled out and kind of played that support role. Spectre was heavily emphasized on being that QRF and like moving around quickly and being their medic. It was almost always on me, where if the platoon lead went down or someone else that was pretty critical to the platoon, I would jump over and patch them up and then jump back to my team or squad. And so I was pretty used to that playstyle, and so Foxtrot just kind of seemed like the natural progression. And so yeah, I was always going for the medic spot pretty much.
I have a tendency to gravitate towards being a medic in every army unit I've been in. Whether I started that way or not, I end up doing it and really enjoy it and think I don't suck at it. So,
My bad.
Go ahead.
My whole thing was just I like small unit tactics. My real world profession offers me a lot of time to work in small, close knit teams that have a lot of impact on various levels. And I like that same type of leadership for my gameplay as well. So I saw an opportunity to not just nurture a new thing that the community would one day, take and run with after I was gone. But yeah, that sounds like I died. One that I, take and run with after I left the unit. But I wanted to enjoy that, like I said, that small unit, small team tactics as well.
Long after we're gone, 212 will still remain. Same game and everything. What do you do in the real world there? Military?
Yeah, I'm in the military.
He tells you have to kill you.
What are you, some like Delta Force guy or whatever?
Nah, nothing special. Just in the military.
That's something special then. It's whatever. I don't care. So, what's some of your favorite moments in the 212? Could be absolutely anything, so long as it's not racist or
I
something.
was gonna say as Foxtrot or just in general.
Just whatever.
My all-time favorite moment. There was a particularly hard op in 2020, I think is what it was. 2021 maybe. Charger puts videos up of it all the time. It was like a beach assault landing that we did. It was really well done. I think the Zeus's were like Chelts and Dongle, if I remember correctly. It was hard. It was very, very hard. We had just switched to the new 3AS weapons. I don't even think we had all of our JLTS armor yet. We had most of it. And we were doing this beach assault. I was still in Wampa, and like getting the guys in and out of there was incredibly difficult. The AA that we used to have in the mod was significantly more effective than the stuff that's in there now. Like if a missile locked onto you, it took everything to get away from that missile. If some guns started shooting at you, they would tear you out of the sky pretty quick. So you really had to master like flying just above the deck. And I think my favorite moment is the platoon had a mass cas. I had just happened to land in the acclimator, and a bunch of guys run up. And I think Lark was with them, one of our old platoon leads. And he goes, he's like, hey, I think you might have to call the JTAC and see where you can get us in at, because there's no way we're making it there. And I look at the beach, and I think about where I remember the tracers coming up from the AA, and I'm like, nah, I can get you in there. Like that was my big thing as a pilot. I love to get in a cinematic entry to see if I can get the guys in there. And so I got everybody loaded up. I probably had like half a platoon in my lat. I flew 2 meters above the water for about 3 kilometers and hit the beach. And I managed to figure out how to get the repulsors to stop on the beach. And as I do it, I'm under fire. There's rockets coming at us. We drop everybody off. I lose like half of my lat getting them in, but I'm still airborne. And then JTAC comes up and says broken arrow. Other pilots are down. So I jump up in the air and I'm like, all right, I got to make sure everybody's okay. So I just open up on the coastline, and they're like throwing smoke. I tell the JTAC use lasers so I can see where you guys are aiming because it's nighttime. So they start pointing lasers out, and it was just an awesome cooperation moment. Ended up getting out of there. The platoon managed to hold the ground for a little bit longer, and then we got all the rest of Wampa back up and platoon back in. And it was just such a cool cinematic moment. One of those like, fuck, dude, I wish Star Wars was real moments.
That sounds pretty fucking baller. I think they ran that mission again a while back because I remember being a part of something similar like that. Night Op, Beach Assault, everything like that.
Yeah, I've seen some similar ops pop up over time, but that one in particular was kind of peak. One of like the last good. I don't want to say that. That sounds bad. It was like one of the last beach assaults I remember being particularly iconic.
Difficult ops are, in my opinion, in experience, the best ops.
Yeah, I'd agree.
The stuff that kind of sticks in my head are little, like Barry said, cinematic moments. When I first joined the unit, the first place I billeted was Spectre 4 when that had just opened up. And I was always nervous about screwing up my jumps and this and that because I hadn't played Airborne in other units or anything. And we're going through this town, and we decide we're going to jump up on the monorail. And it was just this perfect little moment where it was an entire fire team, and all four of us, one by one, jumped up in perfect order, one right behind the other, and landed on the monorail and just started marching like it was nothing. And it's just little stuff like that. One of my best times, one of the times that stick out so much for Foxtrot. We were assaulting a fob in a valley, and there were two squads. One was coming up on the hilltop on the other side. And we went up on the middle and was on this rock rise, and everyone was just getting nailed because the entire fob could fire on everyone. Because we're looking down on it, and every droid that's on the walkways is just firing up into the hills, and instantly everyone is mass cast. So the two squads are scrambling on the hill trying to get their people up. You can see purple smoke flying everywhere. Throw down a squad shield. The medic starts working on people. And as we get stable, we're standing up in the squad shields, just start clearing the top, and we're pulling all of this fire. And pretty soon, all four of us are standing on top of the rocks in the squad shield, firing down into the space and clearing everything out and drawing all the fire and buying all the time for the two squads on the hilltops to get fixed up and take out the heavy bit. And just all of us just standing there under that shield firing. It's just like a perfect freeze frame.
I think I remember that op actually.
That does sound familiar. I'm saying I think I have a pretty similar one to describe. I was in Spectre for like that first year I joined, and there was an objective where I think we were running 2 Spectre teams, like more or extra, like, built up, and they wanted us to do like a hey-ho jump above a anti-air position, and as we're jumping out, the anti-air starts to target the lat and is firing up at us, and we're falling through the laser rounds flying towards the anti-air position on these landing pads, and then the squad hits the pad like right behind the anti-air, and then demo starts immediately placing charges, and within a minute we have charges placed, and we jump away and then detonate them. And that was just probably, I'm trying to think, it's probably the most cinematic moment I've had, even as Foxtrot. But I think the moment that sticks out to me the most was I was probably trialing. Derek would remember the day better than I would, but I think I was trialing for Foxtrot to get the billet spot for, what was it, like 8-9 months, it feels like. Quite a long time. It was the last open spot in the team. Derry was being really particular about who he was going to pick for the medic spot because that was the first full team billet. And I'd been jumped to every Foxtrot operation I could in skirmish. And we finally had a joint operation with the Special Operations Brigade.
Oh, God.
And that, for anyone that doesn't know, they're like a commando unit. And so Foxtrot and Banshee showing up was kind of a big deal, and that was our moment to like, hey, this is our commandos, like this is what we're made of. And at the time, Derry, Beetle, and Griffin were already billets, and the last spot was the medic. And they're like, "Hey, Charlie, show up." And I really didn't think anything of it. And then right as they're picking their kits, they're like, "Put on the billet armor today." And that was them telling me that I had made it in the team, and that was pretty special. Even though I had terrible time in that operation and horrific, PC problems, but that was still it was a bad op. But I still had a lot of fun because it was like that, almost a year's worth of trying out for the team had finally paid off, and pretty pinnacle moment for me.
For any listeners, it doesn't take that long to get a billet anymore. There was a very particular reason. Please don't think it's going to take that long.
Yeah, only 6 months now. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even bat an eye at that with how long the bureaucracy takes in this unit. I mean,
yeah,
it was.
I fucking hate bureaucracy with a burning passion. I think the only reason I dragged my feet so long, that first team was going to be instrumental in setting, like, if people enjoyed Foxtrot or not, because that mentality, that community mentality, is not everywhere in the unit like we would like to pretend it is. So I was being very particular with people that were, good at the gameplay and good with the kits, but also more importantly showed that they had that mentality or that perception, because they were essentially building the reputation of Foxtrot at that time. So I took a very long time, and I also had a ton of people when Foxtrot first launched. There was probably 45, 50 applicants. And I had to sort through all of them, and I'm big about everyone getting a fair chance. I didn't want it to seem biased towards anywhere, especially because, like Charlie said, Beetle and Griffin at the time were two fairly well-known people in the unit. So we had I had picked two popular people in the unit, and I didn't want the perception to be, that I was picking popular folks.
I was
you were the less known. You were the less known person at the time. But I mean, I was picking on everybody on merit, on their skill, right, and the personality that they showed. So everybody got in under the same qualifications. But I did keep that in the back of my mind at the time. I was like, man, if I pick I'm gonna be in a bad spot if someone shows that they have they meet all the criteria, but they're also a popular person. It's gonna seem like I'm just picking long-standing members of the unit.
There were some big names in that list for the medic spot, and I was honestly, it was in the last month or two, I was like, there is no way I'm getting this. Like, I think it was between, I think at the time it was you and Tubi were my last two people. Oh, I thought it was Dongle.
Was Dongle one?
I thought it was me.
No, this was before you.
I don't think you had applied yet. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or you maybe had just joined the unit. Yeah, I had big names in that list.
Yeah, that original list was insanely long. It was still, though, that first list was way shorter than the trial list. So when I was building out the trials for Foxtrot, we did like an open document that we published to the whole unit, which was a mistake on my end for not assuming how that one would go. I probably got like 200 people that responded. Some of them were memes, 50 of them or so were memes. But I mean, I got people that were in like senior leadership that were like, "Hey, I think I want to do this." It blew my mind at the time because I don't even think I was a CXS yet. I might have just been a CXX. No, I might have been a CXS at that point, or CXP, one of the two.
I understand everyone wanted to go for Foxtrot. I mean, they're like the clones, right? From the games from 2004, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it was the new hot thing, so a lot of people wanted to do it.
Personally, I think the Banshee armor looks cooler, but that's just me.
Yeah, they're both pretty cool. I like them both.
Yep.
So, together, at least more or less, and some of you didn't serve at the same time. Like, not serve, fucking play at the same time. What's like your memorable ops? Running in a team mostly, I guess. Who's like the black sheep of this pack? Who wasn't here? What was it, Charlie?
I mean, we've all played together pretty extensively.
If we were asking, it's like the order. The first original team was Derry, and then Beetle was pretty quick to be chosen, and then Griffin, and then I was the last one to be picked that first big team. And then we got a second team approved, and then I started to go for the team lead spot, and then I got that and left, and then Scrut jumped in and took my spot. So that was the first load order of the first original team. Yeah, we're all pretty old OGs of the Foxtrot team.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that question is pretty much the same as I already asked you before, so I'm going to skip that one. What detachments do you enjoy running alongside outside? Like infantry, that's what you said?
I'd say anybody. Honestly,
Yeah, we've had fun with everyone. We're operation sluts that way. We'll do it with anyone. Have a good time. I've done some. We've had some cool stuff with Poltergeist where they've guided us to spots. We've ridden on the sides of Phantom tanks and had a good time coordinating stuff with them. Infantry, Spectre. We've run some of the best fun we've had is running with Banshee on detachment assignments and going to town on them. That's always fun.
On the towns, not on Banshee, just for
Yeah.
clarification.
Oh, yeah, no. Going to town on the bad guys, not Banshee. Side by side. I probably had the most fun with that.
Tag teaming. Yep.
That might sound arguably more. Yeah, no, I'd agree. I think our kits are pretty uniquely built. I mean, they're intended to be this way, but they're pretty uniquely built. So we're a jack of all trades, master of none, proficient in all. And that key cord, that gameplay piece, like I've talked about 50 times in this podcast so far, is what allows us to have fun with just about everybody. Coordinating like fast mobility stuff with Spectre is arguably my favorite thing. Shout out to Guy Fox, so I'm gonna miss dearly playing Arma with. Some of the best times I've had as Foxtrot in the unit have been are like fucking like hammer and shield style tactics that we do, or Spectres jumping around, hitting things outside of our reach, getting places that we can't reach, and we're just breaking through the fucking front door so that things are targeting us and then they're taking stuff down. I think that's some of my favorite co-detachment work, but I've had a ton of fun with the other ones too, getting calling Womp in when we're by ourselves using our smokes, since I had JTech knowledge and kind of incorporated that into our SOP. Getting alongside Revenant and we're holding a line against things right in front of us, but we're like rapidly calling in Revenant for danger close artillery because we can take a little bit more shrapnel than most. Coordinating with Phantom when we've got just a billion tanks coming at us and we're handling the infantry and they're dropping armor. And then like sneaking around with Poltergeist, picking off key targets that are preventing us from getting into an objective while they're giving us long range support. Like there really isn't a element that we haven't worked with in terms of detachment or anything else. Mystic, I don't know if our Decal is Decal still in the unit? No, he left, didn't he?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he and I got pretty dang good at coordinating like a on the move Mystic defense. So he would for probably like the span of 6 months, he just kept getting attached to us. And so we'd be running through objectives, and yeah, he was basically Fox 5. He would just throw down, defenses, and we would stop and fire, and we'd only be there for a couple of seconds, and then we'd pack it back up. And I remember talking to him at one point. I was like, "Hey, if you're gonna throw defenses down, we move pretty quick, so we're not gonna like stop to just hole up on defense." And he was like, "Yeah, that's perfect." And I mean, he had it down to a science. He knew when we were gonna stop and fight, and when we were packing up to move. He was on our radio net for a while. Like he would just join us, and I'd be like, "Just hop on the net."
Yep.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun too. I realized I didn't shout them out, and they had played a huge role in how we kind of do mobile defense.
Do that pretty often, actually. Like Mystic,
Yeah,
the platoon
it was
lead would be
a
like,
hot span for like 6 months where it was just Decal doing it, and
Yeah.
I almost feel like he put it in the SOP because Mystic just kind of started doing it afterwards.
I think it was that the platoon leads would always put us up in front, and that's where Mystic is usually by default. And so it was just always like, all right, well, stick on Foxtrot's ass. They'll clear a path for the rest of the platoon. And then once we get to the objective, you'll rejoin us. And yeah, I think there was still consistently, it's like, hey, Mystic will walk up next. They'll be like, you guys need cover? And it's like, well, hey, we're going to be walking 800 meters to the objective. Just stick with us, join the team, get on the radio. And unironically, it's like the non-official SOP Fox 5 role. So if you want to run with us, join Mystic.
Maybe Charlie, you should make a Mystic Fox kit.
I should.
It's the
yeah.
5th hidden kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that stupid fucking helmet that they put on sometimes? Like the
That Mystic puts on.
no, it's like
No,
the Arc Spectre one.
Arcborn.
Yeah. Where the fuck does that come from?
I think that's what 3AS made that one.
Or asking where the helmet comes from, or like where did the Arcborn term come from?
Yeah, the Arcborn. Like, there's like
Pretty much,
more
well,
behind it, right?
Yeah. Well, pretty much because like Banshee's integrated into the infantry teams, and Spectre is technically detachment and infantry at the same time, and so there's always been like talks of how could Banshee work with Spectre, and then that's where that just comes from. Is if there was Banshee and Spectre, would they wear the airborne helmet, the Arc helmet? Why not both?
Why
It
not?
looks so stupid. Foxtrot is a Swiss Army knife, yeah. But you know who like the real special forces of the unit is? It's Revenant, alright? I mean, think about it. Like, sure, sometimes they're in the back, shooting their mortar, kicking their feet up onto like some bucket, drinking beer. But sometimes when they're not doing that and shit hits the fan, you know what they're doing? Fucking, I know. I speak from experience here because I used to be a Revenant fill-in 24/7. Okay. When shit really hit the fan, up on the front lines, you'll see a Revenant guy just fucking clearing buildings and shit. Like SEAL Team 6, I'm telling you. Like, wherever, like, you need medics, bam, Revenant guy. You need someone to clear a building, bam, Revenant guy. You need someone to, go out and, like, fist fight a tank, bam, fucking Revenant guy.
I've seen Revenant kick some butt.
Oh yeah.
I think the most underappreciated unit, detachment, in this entire fucking unit, I'm telling you. Like,
I don't know if I go that far. I think people enjoy Revenant. I think everyone knows Revenant's good.
I think it's Mystic.
Yeah, as I say, I think I'd put in Mystic, or I would argue Wampa is really underappreciated.
True.
everyone knows that Wampa is important and Mystic is important. Like, everyone appreciates, but like, I never hear people talk about fucking Revenant. They're always like stashed over there to the right side of the debrief, just standing there with their big fucking
Honestly,
guns in their back.
We've ran with everyone so much. I think it's just at this point.
Yeah,
like
I'm used to everybody.
Yeah, maybe if I was infantry still, I could see that. But like with how often we get paired with another detachment, I think I know everyone pretty well and how they run.
Yeah, and I've run a lot of Revenant too, and there's some ops lean and some leaders lean heavily on Revenant, and it's just really the what the op is and who the leader is on whether or not Revenant's going to have time to shine. I got 400 and something kills in a defense op playing Revenant between modular weapons team and mortars just bouncing back and forth. Oh my god.
They get that grenade launcher. Yeah, they get that grenade launcher set up in the right spot. They're fucking murdering stuff.
Yeah.
You're
going for kills doing Revenant.
HMPs flying over and just dropping them left and right as they're flying over the defense point. It was just it was glorious.
Yeah, there was an op just before I retired. I think it was the week before I retired. There was an op that went to a Revenant had their E-Web, and we were like holding a defensive position in this town. Charlie, I think you were there for that one. Actually.
It's your last stop.
Was that the last stop? No, the one where we were on the corner of that road and we had to keep like bouncing back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was the week before, or maybe 2 weeks prior. But we were like basically our team of 4 was hopping around to different spots. Lionheart was like directing us to go to different corners to help the different elements. Revenant was set up in this like little mini fob that we had taken in the center of the city, and they were fucking killing it. But there was like one point we got engaged just by a wave of HMPs that were firing on us. Wampa was all tied up with Red Air somewhere else, and I just like watched the E-Web fire, and it just dropped an HMP, and I was like, I didn't know they could do that. And then Scrut like ran back and jumped on an E-Web on the other corner, so we had 2 E-Webs running off of that fob from Revenant. Scrut joined him, and we were just obliterating HMPs.
Oh no, I was running Revenant for that op.
Oh, were you? Oh yeah, that's right, you were. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
Yeah, because you jumped on our net. I was like, oh, I didn't know Scrut was in this op.
That's right.
Yeah, that was those are cool. Yeah, Revenant does good work. You got some cool toys.
Oh,
I hope they get some more stuff in the future. I say get more stuff or get utilized better in the future. I think I think the 212th got a little set in its ways, so we don't often use our detachments either to their full potential or just in unique ways. I think we kind of always set it up where Revenant always brings mortar tubes and they always fire mortars when we are in a defense, or Mystic only sets up or only really comes if they need to hack things, and if we got to detach, it has to be Banshee. I'd like to see things like Spectre detaching more, or the infantry for that matter detaching more, or Revenant like being sent out with folks to do like deep strikes with lasers from pretty close range. It'd be cool if there was some more stuff like that.
I don't know, from my point of view, as a lowly infantryman, I see Spectre detach all the fucking time. They go off and kill all the shit, then we come in after.
Yeah, I mean that's just kind of them like pre-deploying. I wouldn't call that detaching. When I say detaching, so like the stuff you see Banshee pretty typically doing, where they they run out and they're away from the element for an extended period of time. Um, I I think it's cool if the infantry or Spectre or anyone really gets to do that.
Yeah.
I think it's a
Actually,
good
Phantom got
opportunity
to,
for people.
Phantom
So
got a
maybe
couple of detachments at just this last couple of ops.
Yeah, that's right. They had the
That
armor
was
depot.
cool. Yeah, they went and hit that armor depot. And
I would say a few months ago there was, I think Scarletta was there, maybe Beetle, but it was I, for whatever reason, do not do this, do not do this. Your platoon lead or Zeus, I was put in charge of a small platoon detachment that it was Foxtrot, Spectre, and I want to say there was 2 tanks from Phantom, or maybe it was a Bantha and a Saber. And for whatever reason, they're like, all right, Charlie, you're in charge of this detachment platoon, and you're going to be off on your own side of the map for like the entire op.
Yeah.
And that was insane because Foxtrot's, thankfully I have a small circle of people I have to manage, but there's no one really else to like step up for me when I leave. Or if they do, they're down a man, and that's pretty crucial. Unlike with a squad where like the squad lead can step away and the team lead steps up. And so I was leading the team, leading the platoon, but that was pretty fun because Spectre, I just kind of got to stand back and be like, hey, Spectre, I need to jump out, deal with this. I need that Saber to tank up the tanks. And it's pretty cool when, detachments don't often get to work on their own or get to work on like specific objectives, get those opportunities that are a bit, not typical, especially when there's like a Foxtrot guy leading for some reason.
Everyone
are-
remember this moment. This is the origin of CC Charlie.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're making the special operations platoon. We're gonna rope not Phantom, Poltergeist and Banshee in, and yeah, that's the real downfall.
only partially joking here. I think a special forces platoon would be pretty fucking funny, and I think it'd be a neat little niche gameplay area. Obviously, not doing operations by themselves, but they just like they get detached or added to other platoons for their ops. I think would be cool. Kind of like the way the 501st manages their medical corps. Doesn't really line up. Yeah, it doesn't really line up with how the 212th does anything else. I think it would just be neat.
I'm sure you would love me being in charge. Don't do
You get
this.
fun up fodder out of that.
I'd come back for that. I'd come back for the special. Not even
Alright.
to be in leadership, just to come dick around.
That's your role. You're gonna be in charge. I'll manage Foxtrot. You can manage the
I don't know
platoon.
about all that.
Donnie, this one's for you. Better do it.
Alrighty. I think everybody just wants that. Like I think it was Darius said this before. Everyone just kind of wants that main focus. It's less so about detaching, but more so like having a mission built for like one thing specifically, having like focus. The detachments are nice for support, but just being like the one doing everything is cool. So and that is done through skirmishes.
Yeah, I can see that. I think the difference is that skirmishes are like they get moments for everybody, but they don't tend to be as like organized or put together objectively than main ops, which is fair. That's kind of the whole point of what they do. But the main ops give like a sense of purpose to those billeted folks that are trying to contribute to things like the campaign. that's where I think people should be able to go and do some of those unique things more often, right? Because we have all the side pieces like the war room and the news reports that come out, or the hollow news reports that come out. All that stuff would be great if there was like, I don't know, if we're doing a defense objective or something and everyone gets killed except Shade 2, and Shade 2 is just holding the fucking line against a swarm of droids down to the last man, and we manage to, like, while they're holding it, the platoon lead goes, all right, we're gonna have to trust them to defend this. We got to go hit these two side objectives, and they disperse like a Shade 1 over to that area, and Spectre 3 over to it, or Spectre 4. Oh my god, Spectre over to a different area. Like everybody's kind of spread out doing a thing. Everybody gets their hero moment, that cool story, and at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, everybody had fun. You go back and the HoloNet news says like, this war reporter has firsthand footage of Valiant clones holding the line from Shade 2. And it's those little moments that people get to be like, oh, that's awesome. I did that. I was there for that.
Absolutely. I don't have much experience with that kind of stuff, though.
It's a lot to build those out. Like it's a lot to ask a Zeus to build something that complicated out. Not a stranger to recognizing that.
Also on the platoon leads to do that, manage their, who they want to stick around. Typically, I think it's more of like we use infantry teams, including Spectre, as kind of just like that mass force to like push into an objective. And so if you need someone to stick around, it's like, okay, well, who's the smallest group of guys I can leave so I can keep most of my force? So it doesn't happen too often, but I think if platoon leads want to start to think a bit more like unorthodox as far as like, this is a risk I'm going to take, but it might pay off. I think that could definitely be fun.
Got to get out of the mindset of like, we have to do the mission perfectly. And sometimes it's just about making a sacrifice that is probably not going to go very well so that people can have fun.
I think Novan does that a lot. We're like, throw ourselves as a fucking FOB, like getting shot at and shit. A lot of the time, we're just sitting on some fucking hill or sitting back, just killing all the guys on the wall. It's like routine. Shoot the guys on the wall, then breach the gate, put down a guard shield, then kill everybody inside.
I think I'm gonna glaze him a little bit here. I think Lionheart probably is one of the better people of the unit, if not the best person in the unit, that balances out the like functionality of a mission, like keeping a horde of internet nerds focused on doing the things that we need to do, but allowing enough room that people are having fun, that things aren't very stale. Like even in an op that isn't particularly unique, he goes out of his way to make sure people have fun, that they go and do things that they don't normally get to do. I know Biscuit and the Den both do a very good job of that for their platoons as well, from what I've seen. I didn't get to run with Spirit as much for my past couple months in the unit, but so I mean they might be doing it as well. And Ordo's over there trying to solo the show, up until the point Novan got over there. So I know he's kicking butt too. But Biscuit, the Den, and Lionheart particularly, I think are very, very good at that.
Yeah. Biscuit's pretty badass. I love Biscuit. When I was Revenant, he uses his Revenant guy as well. I was never Revenant, but I'd fill in. But I don't mean to brag, but Spirit Platoon is kind of like the best platoon in the unit.
I would say that's my up and coming platoon.
I wouldn't go that far.
I was gonna say I don't know, man. With Lucky and Rucker being the platoon leads, I've been having a lot of fun, Spirit.
I can't give Rucker that much credit. It's just legally not allowed.
What do you mean? Rucker's like, he's awesome. He's like pretty
Rucker's
fucking good.
I can't legally give him a compliment.
Yeah,
why is that?
Like to, he's restrained.
I am required by the Constitution to not give Rucker compliments.
Fucking what Constitution?
The U.S. Constitution. It's the
what amendment?
It's the 56th Amendment. Oh, sorry, 69th Amendment. My bad.
Oh yeah, and what does that say?
No party shall recognize Rucker as someone doing good things. Rucker is only ever not succeeding.
Thou shalt not praise Rucker.
No, that's the
No,
69th
that's the
commandment.
Hey,
Oh, that's right. That's right.
hey, that's not my U.S. Constitution. I'm overthrowing the fucking government. All right.
I say this in jest for anyone that might be thinking I'm hating on Rucker. I promise he's doing a good job.
No, this Derry absolutely fucking like before the recording of the session, he was just trashing on Rucker like the entire time.
I absolutely was.
Don't worry, Rutger's not going to listen to this anyways.
I know Torch does. And I'm like shocked that we're doing a Foxtrot. Like Torch is Foxtrot, is he not?
He is.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that we're doing a fucking Foxtrot podcast and he's not here.
Well, I'll make fun of him.
Like he's the Foxtrot guy, is he not?
No.
No, he's not the Fox. He's one of the Foxtrot guys. I don't think
He
there
is
is
not
a
John
the
Foxtrot.
Foxtrot guy.
Okay, there was. It was you.
Oh, well, I'm dead, so.
I never
There
even-
isn't a the Foxtrot guy.
I never even heard this guy's name until this podcast. Okay, I know I've always see Torch around as Foxtrot, but I've never seen any of you guys except like Beetle 3 times.
Be like this.
In the
Be
shadows.
like that. If the meme doesn't come from that, I don't know what to do with my life anymore.
He's just like sitting in his bedroom, like, oh man, I should have retired. Fuck, what was I doing?
It was actually his announcement has come back. I'm still mad they took your commando tags. You can't even see the Discord channels. What's up with that?
I think that's pretty standard for everybody, man.
Yeah, but how are you gonna run with us?
Because there's not a separate tag for the commando canteen. I don't think. I think it uses the same.
No, you need the qual
Mm.
tag. Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
ball tag.
Yeah, that would be why.
That is.
Set up a bat signal. Just it'll be a glass of milk in the air.
True. Yeah.
So, who's your favorite teammate / bestest of friend, and what's your favorite memory of them?
It was Watchdog, and as a probably favorite moment, there's a video of it floating around somewhere. In my very early days in Wampa, we were doing a briefing, and our briefings used to be done a little differently. I walked off because I wanted to go scout with our ARC 170 that we had. So I take off, I fly literally over the platoon, and Watchdog goes, or Sox goes, where are you going? And I go, scouting, and then I hit the wrong button on the VTOL, and immediately crash into the ground after saying that. In front of the whole platoon. It was fucking hilarious. One of my favorite moments in this entire unit.
Was crashing.
Yeah, I just absolutely crashed in front of everybody. It was really funny. It was a humbling moment, honestly.
What did they say about it in the debrief? What did they say?
Oh yeah.
No, what did they say in the debrief? They had to
Oh,
have got...
we didn't even make it to that was the beginning of the op. They were giving the brief for the op.
Yeah, they didn't fucking... Like, I would have absolutely called you out on it during a PTS or something.
Oh yeah, no, I called myself out on it when I walked back up after respawning and walking back into formation. I don't think we talked about it in debrief, but we did make the Wampa guys at the time. We made a bunch of videos for it. I'll see if I can find one. I'll post it in media later because it's pretty funny.
Yeah, you can maybe send it to... I think it's the Mimosa who edits this.
Yeah.
You can send it to him, you can throw it up on the screen or whatever. If...
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fuck him. Make his job harder. Yeah. What about you, Scrut?
Oh. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that I don't think I'm legally allowed to talk about.
What is
One
it, Rucker?
of-
Do you like Rucker too?
Well, yeah, I like record, but not that way. We're not cuddle buddies. I don't know. One of my favorite things when running around in as medic for Fox 1, the demo has a tendency to draw more fire than everyone, has a tendency to be in front more than anyone, so he gets hurt more than anyone. So one of my favorite things is taunting and tormenting Griffin about how he is not allowed to die, because with the armor we've got, you end up just accumulating like tons of bruises and small wounds and things that probably should kill you, but just barely don't. And then the medics got their game on. It just keeps you alive, and pretty soon you get to the point to where a grenade went off somewhere 100 miles away, you fall down and your heart stops. You're just getting constantly pain knocked and praying for death. And so taunting him that I won't let him die, just so he'll be unconscious for half of an hour. It's just funny to me, but I may not be a good person, so.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. I would have mercy killed him, honestly.
Commandos never die. Except when we blow up all at the same time.
Yeah.
Never die unless it's for drama, that dramatic effect. What you
There's
people? Oh, go ahead, Derry.
No, I was just gonna make a joke there. You're good.
No, make the fucking joke. It's supposed to be joking.
No, I don't want to, because you're telling me what to do.
Hey, make the fucking joke, Derry.
No, I refuse. I won't be told what to do.
Hey, I will unretire your ass. I'm gonna send an appeal up to like South or something. I'll bring him out of retirement to unretire you.
I wish you would bring South out of retirement.
I love South. But say your fucking joke. Make the joke.
It's too late now.
Oh, bitch.
Moment's gone.
Alright, Beetle, go for it.
What?
You know what the question is, right?
I saw phased out when you were on about South.
Alright.
I was dreaming.
Alright, I'll reread you the question, Beetle, okay? Who's your favorite teammate / bestest of friend? And what's your favorite memory of him?
Ooh. Hoosier because he's a dumbass. Him throwing a C-type in front of our entire squad and killing us all. Oh, do you mean Foxtrot, or do you mean just in general?
Just in general.
Yeah, than that. Very many fuck ups, so very funny. Hoosier.
Cool. What about you, Charlie?
Honestly, not to get too sappy, but that original Foxtrot team, I'd say we probably, it's thick as thieves. There was probably a year where it was just us four showing up to every op that week. And Dare remembers there was times where we'd be called last minute because they needed people to fill in. We were still relatively new. Yep. And so we were going to like 3-4 ops every week, and including skirmishes in between for like getting new quals. And so there was a point, yeah.
If Biscuit's listening, I want you to remember that when we start trying to build new Foxtrot teams, Biscuit.
Knows us. But yeah, I think we at some point in time, right before we got the second team, when we run together as a team for the longest, I think that Derry could not even need to say anything. We would know what he was thinking, and we'd get it done. And that was probably my this current point in time, the peak experience of Foxtrot is that first original team. Yeah. Good times.
So does Foxtrot just suck now, or?
No, it's just, at that point in time, we were the only builded team, the only team in Foxtrot, and Derry took a lot of time picking, the guys he wanted, like he had talked about, and it worked out. Everyone knew what everyone was thinking before anything set to bed, and we were efficient. Still are.
Yeah, I think Foxtrot's probably more capable than they've ever been now. I think what Charlie was getting at is just it was when it was only 4 of us and we were, half figuring out how to be in the unit and also kind of refining the qual. It was a lot of fun, and we got real close knit. And we were in like almost every goddamn op.
Probably like 80% of my op attempts to show up came from.
Yeah, I think I went to as many ops as Foxtrot in the very first year as I did in like 2 to 3 years of Wampa. That's probably not accurate, but it felt that way.
Degenerate schedules that first team.
So, what has been your most challenging moments during an operation?
I don't know, honestly. Most challenging moment in operation?
I mean, with that armor, it's pretty easy, isn't it?
Actually, should I even say it? I don't know if I want to say it.
I know one.
Yeah,
I know a good one, actually.
A podcast is literally for talking, so talk your fucking head off.
I don't know if this was the most difficult one, but it's definitely up there. I have this big thing. Anyone who's been around me when we've walked near a hill has heard me say it. I fucking hate hills. They're just bad,
Yep.
and for some reason, the 212th likes to go sit on hills all the time, or descend down a hill in front of everybody. We were in an op, and we were with the lead line in Shade Platoon, and we were going down this hill, or we crested this hill that I really didn't want to be up on the first place, so I maneuvered Foxtrot to the side of it instead. I could see all the crap in front of us, and there was a lot of crap in front of us, but we were like prone, waiting for the order to fire. And one of the infantry elements gets sent down the face of the hill that all the enemy can see. And it was almost like magic. I called out to the Fox team, was like, "Hey, shit's about to go bad." And like sentence finished, proton cannon wiped out half of that element. And then we continued to proceed down this hill against my recommendations. It got real bad. Pretty much the whole platoon got obliterated in front of that hill. We started taking casualties, but it was one of those I got to do what Foxtrot does kind of moments. So we purposely threw ourselves in danger, threw out a squad shield to start dragging people into it to get them patched up. What was supposed to be a 10 to 15 minute like attack on this one little hill turned into, oh man, it probably like 45 minutes of us just trying to survive. I can't remember if it was you, Scrut, that was with us, but the medic is like, I mean, the medic was solely focused on just getting everybody back up. The infantry's medic had died. So our medic was the only one on the field. Every time people would get back in and try to come link up with us, they would end up getting shot and they would go down. And so it was just like it was just a vortex of us being stuck on the hill and me trying to grab CTs that were near me and get them up the hill. We eventually got off of it. It took like as one of the CPs got up, I had them grab people and we managed to get everybody off the hill. By the time lead reinserted for like the third or fourth time, I had at that point I had gotten us off the hill, down and around it, and we were moving into better cover. We had some terrain advantage, and I basically handed the reins back over since the leadership was back on the ground. But it was difficult, and I think on one objective, we ran through all of the Foxtrot's medic supplies. All of my other members were very low on ammo, and we were all like drastically injured. But we kept the fight going, and we kept everybody in it. Just, it was costly to do so.
Yeah, I think I remember that, but that's happened no less than 20 times. So
yeah, it's
that
happened
exact-
a lot. That one in particular was like the worst I think that I can remember in recent history. But yeah, we've done a lot of ops that have that same situation.
Yeah.
Element goes near on hill or tries to go down face of hill, and we're like, guys, please don't. And then they get wiped out, and it's all right. Let's get them out of this awful danger area.
I love dying. It's my favorite thing in the ops. Being overwhelmed. I'm sure you Foxtrot guys can agree, because you're like cool like me, you know? You're like masochists, wanting to get beat, like abused housewives
I
coming
don't know
in.
if I'd call us masochists, but I do like the overwhelmed thing. I don't like the masochist thing, but it gets frustrating when I have newer players who don't deserve the absolute beatdown that they're getting, and we're trying to save them and get them back into gameplay. There's a point where a beatdown goes too far, and sometimes it's the Zeus's fault, sometimes it's leadership's decisions fault. But the players pay for it, so we try to prevent that as much as possible.
No, they deserve it. Speaking as infantrymen, forever and always will be, they deserve it. That's their rite of passage in the 212.
I will say one of the more challenging ops we've had is whenever we reloaded, our ammo would disappear.
Oh my god.
Oh,
That was a cursed time in Foxtrot.
Yeah. Any one of those, but the first time it happened, we were all like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah,
And we
that's rough.
reloaded with our very special HE rounds. Gone.
I want you to know I never fixed that. I never saw a patch note about it. I don't know what fixed it. I was looking into trying to fix it. I was working with Jack. Never figured that one out. It just kind of worked itself out, and I said okay, and then moved on.
Jesus.
So, in your teams, who gets the most kills, deaths, accidentals, like, shooting an HVT in the face or something, armor kills, or dying?
Griffin.
Just
the
Yeah,
answer
yeah,
for all of them.
for all three of those, maybe.
All those. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say there was a time, like right as Foxtrot was still coming in, we still had the scoreboard in operations, and not that this is how we would do, but there was a little internal team, like competition of like who could get the most kills. But as the roles go, the team lead's busy talking to the platoon leads, managing the team. Marksman busy, at the time we had the satellites, they were working on that. The medic is, patching everyone up in the platoon and the team, but the demo really has nothing to do but kill, and that's what Griffin's role is. And for a while, he was top of the leaderboard fighting with Revenant or the Banshee guys, and but every time he'd be super aggressive and get up in the front and end up getting taken out. But it's kind of where Scrut's little game with him of trying to keep him alive, just with how often he was taking damage and going down. But I'd say Griffin's probably the most lethal commando we have.
Yeah, the other part of it was I love to tease Griffin about it because he honestly does a fantastic job. He gets after it, very good at Arma. I used to tease him though because he would get, the dude would put up like 140 kills.
Yeah.
And it was impressive because he's putting up 140 kills while we specifically go out of our way to not take stuff away from the infantry. That's 140 kills and could have been more. And he's still doing a great job. But he'll get 149 kills, and I'll go, man, you couldn't get to 150. That's fucking what a loser, what a nerd. And it would drive him to do more. He knows I was goading him, but it would goad him just the right way. And the next time he would do more. Yeah, he did a great job. Although now that I think about it, I think Truckee or Torch might be number one in killing HVTs. Definitely number one in flashbanging of the team.
Oh.
I agree with that.
But with that being said, of the multiple years that Foxtrot's been around, very rarely have we killed an HVT. Probably counting on one hand the number of times I can recall an HVT being killed by us.
Directly killed by us.
Or indirectly. I don't know how we indirectly kill an HVT.
I was say maybe
There's been
Lotus
a couple of times where we'll, before there's a learning curve, so lob a EMP into a room, and it kills all the guns, and then they spam grenades and kill everything that's in that room, including the HVT and each other. Yeah, it's before we were running around with everyone having a 9-bang.
Where'd you guys come from before Foxtrot? I know Daring was a Wampa guy. What about you, Squirt Charlie and Beetle?
Well, I was a poltergeist. For a while, I think it was like 6 months, 7 months. And then before that, I was a sergeant with, what was it? Spirit 3?
So long he doesn't even remember.
Yeah, Spirit 3, yeah. I was a sergeant with Spirit 3.
For me, I joined the unit, and then I think the first qual, like really quick first quals I got was airborne, and because my buddy I joined up with both of them be airborne, but at the time I think there was only like 2 or 3 slots open, and so I was going for Spectre 3 in Shadow, and they had the medic spot open and a team lead spot open, and Will was the squad lead at the time, and he kind of just blankly was like, "Hey, no one in the team's really interested in going for team lead or the medic, so you can trial for either." And I really had considered going down the leadership path, but I just left a unit I was in as a leader and didn't really want to go back to that, so I opted for medic, and I was there for about a year, and I think I've done a lot in Foxtrot, but being Spectre 3's medic in that time period was probably some of the most fun I've had in the 212th and Arma in general. That squad was really well built, and everyone kind of like with the original Foxtrot team knew what they were doing, and it was just a good chemistry, good time.
When I joined the unit was right before Shade opened, and so I figured that was going to be my easiest chance to get into billets. Got a whole bunch of calls and jumped in with Spectre 4, Guy Fox being my first team lead, and yeah, a lot of good times. Spectre 4.
All right. So this is a question I'd like to ask everybody that I interview, or really get on a podcast with. I like to find out the origins of their name, but that really only works when they have a unique name. Like I interviewed, I believe it was Dead, and then South. They got like little backgrounds of their name. Do any of you have that? Like, Charlie's a pretty basic ass name. Gotta be real.
Not even my real name. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Beetle? What's the history behind Beetle?
Well, it's sort of a brother, really. He is really into his Egyptian stuff, and he likes Ankhs and the Beetle, so I was like, I'll take the Beetle. That's how my name came about, just the Egyptian theming from my brother.
That's pretty cool. So why not go for a Scarab or something?
I didn't think of that at the time.
Well, Beetle sounds cooler than Scarab. Gotta be real.
Hmm.
What about you, Scrut?
Scrub, I started using that as any kind of a name or a game tag back when I was playing World of Warcraft. I made a orc, and he was going to be just orc rogue, and he was just going to be nothing, just another Scrub orc in the background. And apparently, Scrub is not a term that a lot of people know about. It's something that came out of West Texas, but it's just basically kind of like a human version of a rent of a litter. It's nothing big, nothing significant, kind of generic, bordering on pathetic. And I don't know, at the time it just kind of appealed to me and stuck with me, and I've been a Scrut ever since.
I'll say, I think Scrut has the award for most mispronounced name ever.
Oh,
I've heard
yeah.
probably like 15 different variants of how to pronounce his name from different people, and it's never not funny.
What, does he get called like Scroot or something?
Scroot,
Grunt's the one
Scrunt.
that I hear the
Grunt.
most often.
Scrunt.
They throw in the mystery end. Kessel had a lot to do with that one. Spread that one around. To the point where it's almost a meme to call me Scrunt now.
Alright, Scrunt, thank you. What are the names?
I've heard Scratch somehow. I don't know where they got the A.
I'm just happy when it's Scrote, which inevitably leads to Scrotum. So it's probably not the best one.
Yeah, well, about like 20 or so people will be seeing this, so I hope you like Scroat as a nickname.
I've dealt with worse.
What's the worst one?
For me personally?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. That's it's kind of a loaded question.
I think it's probably Scrunt with how often Kessel said it.
That's the one that became annoying just out of frequency.
Yeah. R.I.P. Kessel will be missed.
Yeah. I don't probably Scrotum. If we're gonna go off of mispronunciation of Scrut, then going Scroot then Scrotum is probably the worst.
And what about you, Derry? Is it because you're lactose intolerant?
No, mine's just an older play off my typical username. So I usually put myself as low fat milk. It was a joke a very, very long time ago. My best friend and I, we were growing up, and I wanted a name that was just absolutely nonsensical to make people rage in Call of Duty. And it went through several iterations, and I think I finally got sick of changing it when I made it low fat, or I think I made it Milk Duds or something like that. And my best friend made jokes about it. and I was particularly skinny when I was a kid. And so he said you should have called yourself Low Fat Milk Duds, and then it just kind of changed to Low Fat Milk. And I've used that ever since. I've been using that tag for like 15, 20 years.
Nice. See, this is why I asked this question. Look at this rich history we have here. You know, from
How's
Egypt to someone's balls to low-fat milk, and then just some guy named Charlie.
Yeah.
what about Scarletta? Where does that come from?
So, Scarletta is actually I really liked the Mafia games, and when I was
Okay.
young, I really liked Vito Scarletta, and I for the longest time thought his name was Scarletta, and I couldn't have been more wrong. So I'd go around on like Gary's mod or something as Vito Scarletta, and just thinking like, hey, that's Scarletta, and it's not. His name's Scarletta, not Scarletta.
That's pretty cool. I thought this was just always an anagram for Swagger Souls, to be honest.
I'm gonna find out your unit, like where you deployed, Gary, and something's gonna happen to you, and it's not gonna be cool. Like I'm gonna shake up a soda can and put in like your Sergeant Major's fridge or something with a little note like from Gary. And
Sorry, I had to wash my hands real quick. If you could get into the place that I work, I will give you big credit, and then I will see you in prison.
Do you work in like some nuclear facility or something then?
No, but I work in a secured facility on a post, which means you have to break in there to get in there.
I have clearance, don't worry.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
See, I'm actually like the colonel of your base.
I'd be surprised. Entertained, but surprised.
Like, I'll like pull off the mask and it's just me.
You don't sound like a 60-year-old flag officer. You sound like Swagger Souls.
I don't sound like Swagger Souls. I don't know where this is coming from, but this little controversy, it needs to stop. You can either say that I'm Sean from Wish or something else. I have been called so many things. I've been called Kermit the Frog, which doesn't even make any fucking sense. I don't.
I hear that now. I hear that one.
No, don't even start. No, don't even start, Charlie.
Fun fact: Swagger Souls was in the 212th for a very brief time. About 3 years ago, there was someone who popped up. What was his name? Mir? Yeah, he was trying to help us get YouTube people to come through and do some of our like, what are they called? The fundraising operations that we do. And he went and just started looking for YouTubers. Well, he managed to pull Swagger Souls in. And so Swagger Souls was here for all like a day or two, but no one was like entertaining the type of humor that he has. None of us really found it funny, so I think he just discharged because there was no place to make money off the 212th yet.
See, I actually had a stint before my more permanent stay here, where I joined the 212 and I left for a very brief time, and for like a split moment, I thought that's where you were going, and I was gonna fucking.
Convenient cover, Swagger Souls. Welcome back.
You're demoted, Charlie. I hope you retire next, fucking loser. Alright, but yeah. So, do you guys, how long do you plan to stay in the unit? Hopefully not very long, Charlie? Or
I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see. With Derry leaving, that kind of puts me next for Fox lead, but we'll see what happens. Could be here for a year, 3 years, 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years for me. Oof.
I'll be here till I stop having fun. Then I will go somewhere else and have fun.
That's my answer as well. Yep. But thankfully, I like the position I'm in. I'm afforded to make my own fun a lot of times. So, who knows?
Hmm. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, the last thing I'd ask you if you hold any additional roles in that unit, like media admin, whatever GCD means, development, but like, who cares, right?
I'm on the helmet team, so if anyone needs a helmet made, hit me up.
The what team?
The helmet team?
Oh, right. See, I just go to Pupa for everything I need.
That's a good person to go to.
I just got my work laptops. We got finally got copies of Blender and what the hell? What's the texture program that we use?
Substance Painter?
Yeah, Substance. So I got free licenses for all of that through work. The Blender was free anyway, but I got free licenses for Substance through work. So
I'm part of
that
the No More Pings on Saturday department.
there you go.
He's in our Shadow mod team.
Shh, don't tell the people.
I've tried the longest time to stop getting pings from other platoons. You're muting the channels completely. It doesn't work. But so for the four of you, do you have any advice for aspiring Foxtrot members? I mean, any things they need to do, like kiss ass or sacrifice a baby goat? What are the two options?
Honestly, our qual's been down for a few months due to some technical difficulties. But I think with the next week or two, hopefully, should be back up and we'll be pumping out the qual trainings. But I think the biggest hurdle people have is just that team gameplay and coming in thinking Foxtrot. It's not happened too much because we've been around for a while. I think a lot of people kind of know how Foxtrot rolls now. But there's a big emphasis on like team play and being good at that, having well with others, on the fly. And so just get good at that, and shouldn't have an issue.
Learn armor mechanics. Big part of what builds, quote unquote, skill in Arma is really just understanding how Arma works. You learn to utilize object cover and things like that. You'll be good to go. There's some free chicken.
Be more aware of your squad mates. That's especially a big part of being a Foxtrot, knowing what they're doing, anticipating the moves, sort of thing, I would say.
Speaking of,
Luke,
go ahead, Scott.
I'm going to say, think creatively. Look outside the box. Don't just run headfirst at something. Look for the angles.
All very solid advice. Me personally, I think the baby goat would help, but that's just me.
Only if you barbecue it afterwards.
Don't want to go to waste, obviously.
Alright.
Out of personal curiosity, have any of you had any completely royal fuck ups in the past?
Of course.
Like fumbling a grenade in the platoon or something, just killing everyone.
A couple of times I throw down the squad shield and watch it go in the completely wrong place, and now that E-web I was trying to protect us from now has protection.
Yep, I've done that.
that's it's happened to everyone. Tossing a thermal into the top of a tower and then watching it bounce back out and land at your feet. We're human.
I think I'm trying to remember the biggest one. I think the one as of recent, and it was all jokes in the end. We were clearing. It was like 2 weeks ago. We were clearing a hallway and a composition, so it's pretty tight corridors. The doorways at the end, and it was one of those ship compositions that opens up into that big open room. It's like multi-story. It's like a square, and there's like rooms around it. And there was like a grab droid. For whatever reason, it was a proton cannon in that room in the hallway. And I was with an infantry team. I think Scrap might have been there. And we just were getting taken out, like one after another. People would line up and just get shot. And so I was like, all right, well, Fox has these small personal shields. It's like a bubble. And there's a little quirk with it where if you deploy it near people and just walk past them with Arma, physics, and a little bit of lag, you can knock them over and uncon them. And I saw people moving up. Well, I wanted to take aggro, so I popped the personal shield, ran through people. I lagged a little bit to the left and actually bowling balled like 3 people. And then I had to turn around and drag to cover, but it's probably my biggest one as of recent. Gotta be careful with those.
Yeah, I can't think of any particular Foxtrot ones, but I've got plenty from WAP.
I can think of one Foxtrot one, but it was on purpose, so it wasn't a fuck up.
Which one was it?
I'm trying to remember who it was, but ended debrief. You bowling balled. Was it South or was it Dongo?
No, it was Donnie. Yeah,
Donnie.
Yeah,
That was pretty funny.
That wasn't a fuck up. That was intentional.
That was intentional. Yeah.
Premeditated down a side.
Yeah, well, that was so. Honestly, I did kind of break the rules there, to be fair, and I did get gotten onto afterwards, especially because the rule I broke is one that I wrote. So I got gotten onto. But Donnie and I were messing with each other because we were testing out that shield, and I was saying like, hey, it's got this bug, and Donnie really turned it on and then ran at me in an op. He did it like 3 or 4 different times. And so when we were at debrief, I finally saw the perfect time, and I just ran at him and did it. It's pretty funny. We still laugh about it every once in a while, but
There's a good clip of it somewhere.
yeah.
I
Jamie
do
pulled it
remember a very recent fuck up for Foxtrot.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
I got dragged through the wall by Commando.
Oh, yeah, that was funny. Yeah, that was funny. There's a clip currently in media. It was last week before.
Yeah.
It was last week.
Yeah, 3 out of the 4 members of the team died to the same BX that was just ripping them through a wall. It was so comical watching y'all walk in there.
A lot of us through a wall because I opened the door and he was just standing there, and then Scrut was right behind me and he was next.
He
So we
actually
knew
killed,
he was there.
Yeah, he actually killed both of you guys at the same time.
Oh.
So he pulled you, and while he was stabbing you, he grabbed Scrut and started stabbing him too.
Yeah, so that was very just death. Very much a fail on our part.
Oh, I
yeah.
think of one from a while back that was not a my fault fuck up, but I was part of it, so it was pretty funny. One of the I can't remember if I was carrying one of the Banshee guys or if it was carrying a trooper, but we had a friendly who was detained in AFK, so I was carrying him over. I guess it kind of is my fault, yeah. And I had set him down. Someone else picked him up. That's what it was. One of the Banshee people picked him up, and I was in front of them and just went, I should stab something. Just playing with the vibro blade. So I punched, and right as I did, they walked past me with the captured person, and I just executed that poor dude instantly. There's also a video of that one in media somewhere, but it was perfect timing, and it was really funny.
It is quite humorous, indeed.
Was that you? That might have been you.
Yeah, that's pretty true. It was me.
That was you that I stabbed. That might have been you, yeah.
I remember your voice, and I remember sometimes I go AFK during ops, and I mean, that might have happened. I don't know if it was me or not. I can't say for sure. You'd have to check the little clip.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Oh, Scrut put a fucking dictionary down. Scrut, noun, a low-life person, usually with multiple non-running vehicles and/or trash on their front lawn. Alcohol and drugs are synonymous with a scrut. Scruts are people with very little to no class and are found in low-income areas. Take a look at that scrut over there. He's so trashed, he fell into a pyramid of beer cans. From the Urban Dictionary.
All right.
And with that, we'll close off this interview. That's the closing remark. Scrut's name. Do you guys have anything you want to say? You know.
I would say, Foxtrot's always got spots.
No one fucking doesn't. All right. Thank you all for coming.
Thanks for having
Thank you for having us.
Oh yeah. You know. Thank you for all being late. That was, pretty cool.
Yeah, you're welcome.
yeah, you can you can like wave goodbye and no one's gonna see you.